Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to episode 551 of Film Bastards. My name is Ian Loring, and as always, I'm joined by...
Becky Foster, hello everybody.
I'm Matt Foster, hello everybody.
Hello, one and all. We hope you're all doing well. So, if I sound a little bit different, it will be because I am in a hotel room in Holland. Normal service will resume next week, but I'll see what comes out better between the Skype recording or the individual sides recording, and the audio quality may not be the best today. I have just been to the Dutch Grand Prix, where there's an awful lot of dance music, and at one point they put on a magician.
I did see the magician thing.
Yeah.
But you love a magician.
You also love a magician.
I do love a magician. At Joel's wedding, me and Ian fucking loved the fact there was a magician there.
Oh yeah, no, I honestly, close-up magic rules. I'm such a fan. I turn into a little kid watching magicians. It was good as well. It's like he had a box and he put like a cloth over it, and he took the cloth away, and there was a woman in it. It's like, how do you do that? Even though there was a really drunk guy next to me who just kept on being sarky about it, and I really, really wanted to say something, but I didn't because he was Larry. So that was fun. Anyway,
when we were in Greece, not last time, the time before, wasn't it, in Crete, with the really good magician? Because there's a decent one, isn't there, that comes on, and there was that younger guy who was really good, wasn't he?
I follow him on Instagram.
And he did something, and it's like the magician show is kind of for kids, but there's also a lot of adults and bits there. But it's where it's like the kids show, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And he did something, and I without kind of like just as a pure reaction went, "Holy fuck balls!" to all of these people just turning round and looking at me. I was like, it was really good, to be fair.
That's great. That's the kind of natural reaction you want as well, isn't it?
Yep.
But look, yeah, I mean, like Grand Prix, it's a lot of money. Is it worth the money? Probably not. Did I get some good photos? Yes, I did. But we were going to review Blink twice, and I'd booked and paid for a ticket, and then I proceeded to get apocalyptically drunk with a Dutch guy and a Swedish guy.
Nice.
So I did that instead, unfortunately. I'm paying for it now. But on Friday night, I did attend Pathé de Munt in Amsterdam Central, and I saw The Crow in Dolby Cinema.
Nice. We literally just took it upon ourselves to go, right, Ian's not seeing Blink twice, I don't think. Well, we'll just go and see The Crow.
Yes.
I cannot wait to talk about The Crow. I cannot wait. But we'll talk some trailers. Bit of controversy around a trailer as well this week. Oh dear.
Oh yeah.
Oh dear. We've got some what we've been watching and whatnot. I assume there's some Twitter questions. I'm no longer on Twitter, so I don't know. Mark, are there?
There are, yeah.
Have you left Twitter?
Oh, yeah, like, I've been off it for so long now that I think, like, my profile's actually been, like, fully deleted.
Wow.
I go on Reddit for my social media fix and occasionally Threads. But yeah, no, Musk. I'm not going to paint that guy's fence. Absolute, just one of the worst. So anyway, but you can follow us on Twitter at Film Bastards, Instagram at Film Bastards as well. You know, but so you could do that if you wanted to. And you could also listen to friends of the podcast, like the Rewatch Project, and Strident Stroker versus Punter, and Entertainment Landfill, and the Good, the Bad, and the Weird, the Odd, sorry, and all sorts of other delectations to tickle your eardrums. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, I think that's it. So, trailers. obviously there's a big one that comes with big controversy, but anything else around that, guys?
No.
Did you...
Okay.
I don't know whether because I came in late to the last show. Did you speak about Amber Alert?
Which one's that?
No.
With Hayden
Did we?
Panettiere?
No?
No.
Have you
Great.
watched it?
Cool.
I think I have
No.
watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Made an impression.
Don't remember it.
I think it looks really, really quite good.
What's that about?
So basically, like, you know, like there's Amber Alerts in America if a kid goes missing or something.
Right.
Is she called Amber?
Yeah. Because if she ain't called Amber, then that's going to confuse people.
So anyway, there's this Amber Alert for this kid that's been kidnapped. But the mum
Yeah.
sees her get taken, so they know what car she's in. And then, stop being a dickhead.
I'm
What?
not. I've got a question.
What?
Is the car Amber?
If you don't stop asking Amber-related questions, I'm gonna break your finger next time you point at me.
This is the violence I have to put up with. Listeners.
This is the idiocy I have to put up with.
Fair.
So, and then Hayden Panettiere's in like a taxi or an Uber or something, and she spots the car that's been described on the Amber Alert, and they kind of like, she's like, oh, just like get up a bit closer, whatever, and they see the kid in the back. So they ring and they report it, but the police can't get out to them very quickly, and they're like, oh, we'll try and follow it at a safe distance. So Hayden Panettiere and this taxi driver basically like team up to follow this creeper that's kidnapped.
Is
this
the taxi
kid.
driver called Amber?
I hate you both. I'm not explaining anymore.
So it's basically like a real time.
I actually want you to explain it because it was sounding all right. Sorry.
So they follow, but then he pulls into a house, and then it's like, do they just wait? Do they try and help? And it's like, it's a kind of moral, what would you do in this kind of situation kind of film? Like, how far would you go to help a kid that's been kidnapped? Or would you leave it to the authorities if the authorities aren't there? Kind of vibe. Looks really good. I think it looks really good.
Be in that house in a fucking shot.
Yeah. Well, from the trailer, it looks like they do venture inside and find some creepy shit.
Straight fucking way, straight through a window.
Yeah. But yeah, looks good.
Nice. It's a good premise, that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, gone.
No, I was just agreeing. I was mulling.
Mulling. Nice bit of mulling. So there's a trailer for, I don't know if you guys saw it, Y2K.
Oh, yes.
I didn't watch this because it's got Noah Schnapp in it.
Yeah, he's a
Cunt.
piece of shit, that guy.
I specifically didn't watch it. Like, I clicked on it, saw it was him, remembered I hate him. Like, and not just for the Zionist shit, for the fact that he's a shit actor. It looks like his puppy's just died all of the time, apart from when he's been a smug cunt.
So never then. Is it Rachel Ziegler in it as well?
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah,
double
and
whammy.
this... I mean, it actually premiered at South by Southwest back in April, and it doesn't come out till December, which is weird. And also, like, basically, the word out of South by was, yeah, it's not great.
Did Jonah Hill produce it as well?
Yeah.
Oh, this film's cursed.
Yeah, quite. I mean, you know, it's A24, so it kind of feels like maybe they're going to have a bit of a misfire. I mean, I think the premise is quite funny. It's basically like Maximum Overdrive. Like, the machines have gone rogue and are basically trying to kill people. I'm fine with that, but the trailer wasn't particularly funny. It's got an obsession with Chumbawamba's tub thumping, which feels like it could get very boring if that is a running joke in the film.
The weird thing I think about Chumbawamba's tub thumping is that film has had basically zero cultural landing in Britain, and a band are from Sheffield. But in America, for some reason, it still exists.
It's the fucking lyrics, though, isn't it? It's the, I get knocked down and I get up again. You're never going to keep me down. Like, that's a very
It's just
rah thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really weird that Americans seem to like see it as like a big deal, and here we're just like, what? No. It's behind Wigfield Saturday Night.
That's a banger, to be fair.
Wigfield Saturday Night's a banger, to be fair.
That's good. Yeah. The winner of Eurovision in 2019 did the Dutch national anthem at the Grand Prix today.
Did they?
Yeah.
Were they a dance act?
No, she's going on a piano doing the Dutch national anthem.
Fair.
Which is... Oh, God, that was some... I don't know, just like... It was dance music, and then that guy, and then a magic show. And then it's like, oh,
feels
boom, shit, we're off, are we?
It feels weird and wild, whoever programs it.
Yeah, I mean, they had fucking Armand van Helden on Friday night. I think that's who it was. Anyway, anyway, sorry, I'll stop talking about it. It was all dance music. That was all I listened to there for 3 fucking days. I mean, even though, and I sent you a video, and one time, they just started doing the music from Eyes Wide Shut for some reason. It was like, what? Why is that happening?
It sounds wild, mate.
It was just a really very surreal experience at times. I also had, today, I had Turkish pizza.
Oh, Pete.
Which ain't pizza.
Peed. P-Day?
Hmm?
Peed. The stuff, it's like an ovally shape with points at the end, and it's kind of folded over, and then all the pizza stuff's in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, I really want to try
But
that. I want to try
it was like it was just kind of like a spicy chickeny thing. Like, it wasn't pizza topping in it.
No, it's like minced up chicken or minced up beef or minced up lamb.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. Yeah, and red onion and like spices and stuff.
One of these guys, Ian.
Oh, hang on. I'll have to get my iPad. 2 ticks. I must see. Where have you sent it to? Sorry.
Film Bastards.
Oh, it's on our chat. So kinda, but it was like it was fully folded over. I'm gonna have to. God, this is gonna be so boring for people, but I don't care. Yeah, no, okay. I've just Googled Turkish pizza, and none of these actually look like what I had. God, that's really weird. Anyway, sorry. Any other trailers?
We've caught the one for that Hugh Grant Heretic one.
Oh yeah, I tried to ask you to watch this when it first came out, and you were like, "No, I'm not going to bother with that, mate." And then you were trapped in a cinema.
Looks all right, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really fucking good, doesn't it?
Doesn't look bad, yeah.
A couple of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, Jehovah's. Getting terrorised by it's the candle for me that just made me go, yeah, all right then, fucking fine. Pretends he's making a blueberry pie, and it's just a blueberry pie scented candle. I really enjoyed that bit.
The thing is,
That's good.
it is good. I like this. I like the fact that steadily A24 films are just getting fucking dumber.
Yeah.
Like, just dumber and dumber and dumber. To the point of where it just isn't going to surprise me if fucking just like... If Biodome 2 ends up being an A24 film. And they just go... someone from A24 just comes out and goes, we don't even know anymore what we do.
What are we?
What are we? Because it's just... We don't know.
The thing is, I mean, they're casting their net wider. Like, they got a bunch of additional funding from like this venture capitalist, and like they've had a taste of the num of financial success with Everything Everywhere, and now they're, you know, and critical and commercial success, and so now it's like they're just really ramping up the output, and it does feel like there's going to be misses every now and then, but I think this is going to be all right. And I mean, it's written and directed by the guys who wrote the first two Quiet Places, like with Krasinski, I think.
Yeah.
And they wrote and directed 65, that Adam Driver dinosaur film.
Yeah.
And I'm intrigued to see them do something smaller scale, kind of like the first Quiet Place was. So I think this could be all right, and it feels like the Hugh Grant of it is going to get some additional attention as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Looks fun and looks very slight, but in like the right kind of way.
Maybe the lesson that you need to learn here, Mark, is that when Becky tells you to watch something, you do as you're fucking told.
I haven't learned that lesson yet.
No, it's been a few years. And
Yeah.
Sorry, that just dropped out
Yeah,
for me a second there. What was the lesson to be learned?
I haven't learnt one yet.
He's supposed to learn that Becky is right. That's about the gist of it.
Yeah,
So we've got the biggie here. We've got the biggie here.
Hang on, what's the biggie?
Megalopolis.
Oh, okay. Well, no, because then I've got a couple more.
Oh, go on then.
So did anyone watch the trailer for The
Cool.
Substance?
Yeah, we talked about last week.
Oh, fuck you guys then.
Well, you talk about it now.
I find it quite amusing that hot young Demi Moore is supposed to be Margaret Qualley. Is that her name? No. Yes?
Margaret
Are they
Qualley?
the same person?
Yeah, they're
I think
supposed to
she's
be in
supposed
this.
The Substance, yeah.
Are they? Didn't notice that.
Yeah. The Substance is supposed to death becomes her and make her younger, and so she goes back to the young hot version of herself, but it looks like they have to like split the time or something in the trailer.
Fair. I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it, but like that's got to be a bit of an ego boost for
What?
Qualley, whatever the fuck she's called, however you say it. Maggie.
Yeah.
Did anyone watch the trailer for Omniloop?
No.
Yes.
All right, actually.
Yeah.
What's that?
I'm up for this.
So basically, Mary Elizabeth Parker.
Mary Louise Parker.
Mary Louise
is it?
Parker.
Is it the girl from The Bear?
Yeah. He's dying. She's got a week to live, so just before she dies, at the end of the week, every time she just takes something that takes her back in time a week, and then just relives it and just does stuff with her week, and then tries to find a cure. By the looks of it,
Fair.
like that.
Yeah. Spring Break. Was it? What was it
Palm
called?
Springs.
Palm Springs, that's the prick.
Yeah, like Palm Springs, but darker, I guess. Yeah, they were the two of the ones that I watched.
Fair.
Yeah, I like the look of Omniloop. It looks like a nice, just kind of like low scale character piece, and I'm a fan of Iowa Debiri as well. Donna and I have been watching The Bear, and she is bloody good in it, but they all are. So looking forward to that one. But yeah, Megalopolis. So, for anybody who doesn't know, new trailer for Francis Ford Coppola's film came out last week and was pulled after a day. Because the first 30 seconds or so of the trailer are basically going, hey, critics don't like Francis Ford Coppola films when they come out. Look at what these famous people wrote about The Godfather and Apocalypse Now. Except they didn't
and Dracula.
say any of those things. And it looks like it was basically all like somebody just put into ChatGPT, tell me some negative things people wrote about The Godfather, and it churned that out, and they just didn't fact check it. So you've got this whole premise
so those quotes weren't real?
No. No, and it's the fact that they're naming the critics and the outlet that they wrote for, like very directly in this trailer, and then they and you've got Lawrence Fishburne narrating it, and the whole thing of he's a misunderstood genius. I genuinely thought they were going to then have quotes from reviews of Megalopolis from Cannes, and be like, go see it for yourself, have your own opinion, do your own research, essentially. Which is, I mean, the whole thing's already a bold strategy, but then to balls it up like that, even though you've got some people who need to touch some grass, basically going, oh, this is completely deliberate, Lionsgate did this just to, like, basically get more attention out there for the film. And it's like, this isn't a no publicity is good publicity thing. That is a massive fuck up that completely destroys the point the trailer was trying to convey.
Yeah, and the fact that Lionsgate within 12 hours kind of went, we fucked up here.
Yeah, and it's a shame because I don't know, if you just had a normal trailer with these visuals that Coppola's put into this, by the looks of it, I think you'd have a perfectly good trailer.
The thing is, you could quite easily have found negative reviews for those movies.
Yeah, and I don't know. Also, it's just the fact that, okay, you've picked The Godfather and Apocalypse Now. Like, I dare you to pick Jack. I dare you to pick Tetro. You know, like, but no, they're not gonna do that. But hey, it's out in about a month. I think it's 4 weeks Friday. Yes. It's out, and then we can all have an opinion on it. I'm worried, but I'm worried basically because it's wild. Really long.
That's wild to me that they didn't make a version of that trailer without the self-indulgent bullshit over the front. One must exist.
They've got to. I'm assuming they'll put out a re-edited one that maybe is just a normal fucking trailer, like probably this week.
Or find some real negative quotes that were actually...
I think they'll swerve fastly past that. It's just... It's one of those things, it's kind of... They're just not doing very well with it. It's... No matter what, it might be great. I really hope it is. But... it just feels a little bit like this film's been on a hiding and nothing since he started making it.
I don't know, man. If I'm very much Francis Ford Coppola, take my fucking money about this movie. I think it's magnificent.
Excuse me.
But yeah, the film looks great. The film looks it looks ambitious. It looks bonkers. It looks it looks like it both has something to say but fuck all to say at the same time, and that's what I like.
Fair.
I like films that basically going, look, we're grand, and then when you actually watch it, go, you had fucking nothing to say. But I admire the fact that you did it in this grandiose way.
Yeah. It looks so fucking overblown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the opulentness of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm down with that.
100%.
You know, it's... I mean, he made the best Vietnam movie that has nothing to do with Vietnam. So, yeah. Up for it, but yeah, it's... I mean, Coppola's ego is just a magnificent thing.
Yeah, but it's got some great movies.
It has, yeah. No, I genuinely mean that. His ego would not. Had it not been for Coppola's ego, we would not have Apocalypse Now.
No. I'm so fucking psyched for Megalopolis.
Yeah. Good.
Yep, we shall
You still
see.
with us, Ian? Yeah.
Okay, let's review a film, shall we?
Let's fucking do it.
Let's review The Crow, which is directed by Rupert Sanders and stars Bill Skarsgård, FKA Twigs, and Danny Houston. Soulmates Eric and Shelley are brutally murdered. Given a chance to save the love of his life, Eric must sacrifice himself and traverse the worlds of the living and the dead, seeking revenge. The Crow has absolutely died a death at the box office this year, this week, appropriately enough. Has made about $4.5 million at the US box office this weekend. The cinema showing that I went to, with people taking photos of the screen during Bill Skarsgård bits at times. There wasn't me doing that, but it was reasonably well attended, and at the wonderful Pathé de Munt, which is a lovely cinema actually. But I am very, very intrigued to see how this goes, and I want to start with Becky. Becky, The Crow.
Yeah, well, I think it's safe to say that none of us were hugely psyched for this movie. And I was saying when we got out, I've gone from really, really rooting for it to really not when the trailer came out, to then kind of rooting for it again because everyone's been such a snippy bitch about it. And I don't know, man, it's fun. It's pretty fucking fun. Bill Skarsgård's just great in general. So, like, obviously he brings that to the movie. FKA Twigs is, there. But they're like little getting to know you bit. They're real cute together. Like, I don't really necessarily buy the love of his life kind of bullshit because they're not really. They're together for a really, really short amount of time before these things happen.
I think that's the point, though, isn't it? I think that's the point that he's trying to do.
But, like, it's kind of going for a they've saved each other kind of vibe, and they are that addictive kind of desperate love that you have at the start of a relationship is what's kind of pulling them together. And I think the differences from, I mean, and I hate to do this because I think this is why it's suffering, but the differences from the original movie with Brandon Lee is they're enough that it's not trying to be a beat for beat remake. It's like, because we were talking, weren't we, about how with Shelley and Eric in the other one, there's kind of they are in it for the long haul. They are kind of properly like in love each other's people kind of thing. And that's why he gets to come back, because of the power of his love. I think with this one, you kind of get a vibe more that the powers that be want to balance the scales and get Danny Houston. But I thought he was quite good as a baddie. He is quite good as a baddie, though. He's a creepy fucking dude. So, yeah, I mean, it's messy, and the violence is like, it's like comic book violence. But then it's an adaptation of a comic book. I don't know. It really surprised me, to be honest. I enjoyed it a lot more than I anticipated. I think the big fucking mistake that they've made, and I said this to you as we came out, is they should have just called them something else. If they weren't called Eric and Shelley, but they were called fucking Dwight and Maria, nobody... I mean, people would still be getting their panties in a bunch, but not to the extent that they are. If they just pitched it as
a Crow story.
A Crow story, yeah. Rather than it being Eric Draven and Shelley, then I don't think people would have any grounds to complain. And I don't think people would be seeing it as being disrespectful in the same way. Like, the fact that Bill Skarsgård, in the week in the run-up to it being released, was just everywhere saying, look, it's not a remake, it's just a reimagining of the source material, to anyone that had fucking listened, suggests that it was an emergency pivot. But I don't know, man, it's fun.
Nice. Okay. That's one perspective. How about Mark?
Thing is, I went into it. I think there's enough in the trailer that makes you go, "This isn't a remake. It's an adaptation of the Crow comic books, just a new version of that." So I don't think that there's even any need to compare it to the Brandon Lee Crow. So it's a different type story. Like I say, the fact that you've got the same names is a little bit of it's a misstep, but I can see why they did it. But like, I think I said to you, Bix, is the straight away bit is Shelley's not a character in the first one.
No.
She is in this. She's got an actual. There is that to cling to. There, I mean, the fact is, again, I said this to Bex as we came out of the cinema, is the 1993, right, that 92, 93, Crow opens with a murder and gang rape. We were never going to get that with this. It's silly. It is both underwritten and overwritten at the same time. I'm fairly certain one of us got a producer credit on it. I'm fairly certain one of us did. So there is some of those, but Rupert Sanders is a good visual director, and I don't mean like a flashy camera angles or anything like that. As a set piece, pause a film that looks fucking great. Kind of director. Rupert Sanders has a great eye, and he does this. And all spoilers all the time. The scene at the opera is just brilliant because it knows it's silly, but it's not slapsticky. At any point where it's kind of almost saying to you, "This is silly, innit? This is silly," and you're going, "It is a bit silly," innit? And it goes, "No, it's serious. This is about love." And you're going, "Wait a minute, you just said it's silly." "Yeah, it is, isn't it? Look at him. He's got a fucking sword through his chest." And you're going, "Yeah, it is quite funny." "No, it's not. It is serious. These people are dying. What is wrong with you?" "Hang on a minute. You just told me it was silly." "I know, look at it. His face is in too." "I know, that is quite funny." "No, it's not funny." You know, "I don't know what's going on." He's going, "It's cool though, isn't it?" "It is pretty fucking cool. Yeah, we can agree on that." And it is. That's what you're going through. It's great in the fact that it knows exactly what it's doing, but it is being absolutely stony-faced serious throughout it. But it knows what it's doing. And I think the fact that you've got Danny Huston within that, just Danny Hustoning around.
He's great.
It is that. There's a great moment where he comes out of Shelley's mother's apartment building, and he's just done the fucking voice thing into her ear, and then he's walking, and anybody who knows anything about cinema is going, any second now you're just gonna see it just drop, and you're gonna hear it splat, and he's just barely even gonna blink, and you're just waiting for it. And then it happens, and you just go, "Oh."
He just gets in the car.
Yeah,
and the piano player's there.
Just like shaking. And he just gives her a grin. It's just, the film knows what it's doing. And the thing is, take away again, I still maintain you cannot compare the two. So I'm about to compare them, but not film for film. But you take away the tragedy outside of the film, of The Crow. If you release that film now, barely anybody... people would be tearing it apart. It would be called too earnest. It would be it's got no real star in it. It's it's too graphic about things. It would be pulled apart. It wasn't as if it wasn't as if everybody loved it when it came out.
No.
It has gone off on a cult following, and this is an adaptation that probably should never have happened. But I'm glad that they went down this route, and it's fun. It's silly. It is. Ian, I'll let you talk in a minute because I think your based on how we rate things is spot on. So go on, Ian.
Yeah, so for me, this is the absolute essence of Geostorm.
Yep.
It is undiluted Geostorm. It's Geostorm coming out of its pores. It is pungent with Geostorm. Not to the extent I would want to rename that rating because Geostorm is Geostorm, but it is so silly. It's so dunderheaded at times, and yet that opera sequence, if this was a hot new Asian film that had film Twitter buzzing about how it's the best action film since The Raid, people would be jizzing their pants about the opera sequence. But because it's the remake of The Crow directed by Rupert Sanders, and this is the thing. It's like Rupert Sanders, I mean, he's brave, directed the remake of Ghost in the Shell that everybody hated, and I think we quite liked.
Yep.
And now he's done this, and I feel like that's almost exactly. So I've seen some chatter on Reddit and whatnot that actually no, do you know what? It's quite fun.
Yeah.
And I think it only the cinema score. I think it was a B-, and everyone was going oh, it's going to get an F. It's going to get an F. And it didn't, because I think it's got more than enough fun stuff in it. Like you said, Mark, the visuals in it are really on point. And Bex, as you said, I quite liked Skarsgård and Twigs together. I thought that actually worked quite well.
Yeah.
And it's a horrific death as well.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's a well done death.
Really, I don't recall ever seeing, all spoilers all the time, somebody being suffocated with a bag, go on for that long. It was just I was a bit fucking hell, how quickly did they get that bag off of her when they called cut?
Yeah.
Because it's on her for a while.
You get the feeling like they had to intercut between her to him so they could go, right, we need to have some kind of cuts here, otherwise we're just going to end up murdering somebody.
Can I point out one thing though that really, really, really fucking annoys me? Anytime someone is getting suffocated with a bag in a movie, if your hands are free, put a fucking hole in it. They're up near her face. They're near her neck. Her hands are free.
She's pinned down though. She's got a guy on her, literally holding her in place.
Maybe.
No, it was. I saw it.
I mean, maybe. But it just always really annoys me.
But at the same time, it is deeply stupid. The bit at the start where it's she says she's going to go to her friend's house, and then she gets busted by the police, and then there's no mention of that friend ever. She doesn't seem that bothered about that friend when she's broken out of the hospital with Eric.
No, there's nothing I wonder where she is.
I need to go check on Zadie.
No. Yeah, no. I'm going to do that thing I was doing. I'm just going to go shag Bill Skarsgård a bunch.
I need to drop some Molly and shag Bill Skarsgård.
I mean, fucking Zadie could get to fuck. Do you see Bill Skarsgård with his shirt off?
Right. Okay. Right, yes I did, and fair play, Bill. Did you notice that when he gets out of the bath, the sequence after he got out of the bath, when essentially he becomes Super Crow rather than just the Crow, he's bigger.
Oh no, I didn't know.
Like they puffed him up bigger. So they said a lot more of him being like fucking massive, and he's commented on it and said, "Yeah, we literally, I had to kind of like constantly have my shoulders back, and then it was just so that when there's a moment in the film where I need to be, I can go bigger." And I was like, that sounds mental. I wonder how that looks. And then when it happens, like, holy shit, no, he does. Wild.
And that's the thing. It's like the little touches like that. Great, you know. But then the opera sequence, it kills how many people and there's no police?
Yeah.
What?
Also, as well, there are multiple gunshots going off in the foyer of an opera house, and nobody fucking does anything.
No, they only realise where. And the thing is, I almost stood up and clapped at the end, where as soon as you see that he's like in the stage area, I was like, he's not, is he?
Oh,
he's
when he walks out, me and you were just like hitting each other on the leg, weren't we?
I audibly said in the cinema, he's fucking not.
Yeah. But it's great, and he just like throws the heads. But I think that's what Sanders is going for. Just the sheer fucking go on then of it is. Yeah. I honestly I think to be applauded. You know, I just had so much fun with it. Like truly, genuinely had so much fun with it. But at the same time, I mean, it's just deeply silly.
Yeah.
I almost thought it'd be like a drinking game. How many times is that guy at like the limbo place going to push him off stuff? Or push him into things?
Yeah, it's the way he chews him out. It's like, literally, we gave you the power of a god and you just fucked it up. What was the one rule? And it's like, I said, don't doubt your love. I didn't. You kind of did, mate. Ah, shit, I did a little bit.
But then he becomes Super Crow, and his blood's black as well. Like I fucking love that in the opera sequence, like when they're like shooting him and stuff, and it's just like black blood sprayed across the wall. Like it. I mean, it feels like Rupert Sanders is just built, like it was just made out of genre films from the 90s. And it's like, I want to do my take on those. And so you get this, and you get Ghost in the Shell, and you know. I in no way am I saying either are better than the originals, but I think both of those films are way more interesting than people give them credit for.
Yeah, people went into both of those films
already hating them,
looking for reasons why they hated them, and ignoring any flicker of joy they might have got within them. It's The Crow. Like The Crow, people didn't find The Crow on when it first came out in the cinema. It became essentially a film that found its audience on VHS rental. It did well in the cinema, but it found VHS was where it really fucking gained the audience that it ended up with. And what Rupert Sanders here has done is he's made just a thoroughly, like, this is a 90s rent-a-thon film.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. People just need to just kind of go, hang on a minute, not everything needs to be meaningful, poignant, and important. Occasionally things just need to be a bit silly and a bit go on then. And that's what this movie is. It's go on then, the movie. I had a great time with it. we'll watch this again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When it's in like a 2 for 30 or something, I am 100% getting the 4K for this.
Yeah, because it'll look fucking great as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. Like I say, I saw it in Dolby Cinema, so like it was like a Dolby Vision grade of it, and it looked bloody brilliant.
I mean, what do you expect from the guy who directed the video for Slam Dunk the Funk by 5?
Did he really?
He did really, yeah.
That's great. They did Space Jam during the Grand Prix as well. The music.
Yeah, you said, yeah.
Yeah, Space Jam, and then the music from Eyes Wide Shut. It was weird.
It's a beautiful day you've had.
Yeah, really fucking weird.
I mean,
but look, Geostorm. But I'd be stunned if it's not my pleasant surprise of the year.
Yeah, I mean, Geostorm just because it has to be Geostorm because of the geostorminess of it all. It's so silly.
I'm so glad you two liked it.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's definitely not shit from me.
That's
I
fine.
don't even think it doesn't
Cool.
quite fall into the so bad it's good, because I just thought it was, as a standalone, if you take the original out of the equation, it's just a good, fun, violent movie with abs.
So many abs.
So many
A
abs.
lot of
All
abs
them.
recently, haven't we, Dex?
Yeah.
A lot of abs recently. Our audience poll. Well, definitely not shit, 30%. Shit, 60%, and Geostorm, 10%.
It's fair.
If people can like Deadpool versus Wolverine, the way that it's a love letter to Fox Marvel films, then I can love this film's love letter to 90s genre cinema.
Yeah.
And just remember, everyone, the old one doesn't get deleted from existence just because the new one is here.
The guy who walked in just before the film was about to start, and I turned out to Bex and said, you could tell from the moon that guy was going to see The Crow.
Yeah. Practically came in costume.
Yeah, when we walked out and you ran in to get your phone because you've left your phone at your seat, haven't you?
Yeah. Silly Becky.
I heard him turn around with his missus and say, and I remember what he said because I was a little bit like, oh god. And he went, if I hadn't seen the original and the original didn't exist, then I'd have liked that a lot better. And his missus went, so what do you think then? And he went, oh, original, 10 out of 10. That one, an 8.5 out of 10. Had the original not existed, be a 9 out of 10 for me. And I thought, I am really glad that he enjoyed it. I am really glad you enjoyed it that much because
he was obviously a fan of the original.
Yeah, because you were there for that reason. Well played. Fucking go for it, mate. You know, I like the fact that guy really enjoyed it.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Velvet coat.
Spot on.
Yeah. Basically had come dressed almost as Eric Draven.
I mean, it's a solid outfit.
Without question knows the chords to Can't Rain All the Time.
Love it.
Great stuff. Good. Okay, guys, what have you been watching?
Right. What have we been watching? We've done the rest of the Final Destination films, haven't we?
We only had 1.5 left, so yes, we did.
We've done the Final
Yeah,
Destination.
so you talked about 1, 2, and 3 last week, didn't you?
I don't think I've logged the 5th.
You
I have
piece
logged
of
it.
shit.
So we watched The Final Destination, which is the one at the...
NASCAR.
Yeah, at the Speedway.
Yeah, okay.
That one's not that great,
No,
is
it's
it?
poor.
Poor. Yeah, not
Yeah, I remember that being bad.
not very good, no. Yeah. And then Final Destination 5. This one's not bad. This one's not bad. What?
Why are you pointing at me so angrily?
Because
What?
I still wanted
What's
to know.
the event?
It is...
Bridge collapse.
It's a bridge collapse, isn't it? Yeah.
That's right.
I still want to know what he was making at the first. That fucking breakfast looked tight.
Oh my god, you and your obsession with that fucking breakfast.
Yeah. It's got David Kocher in it as well.
Yeah, it does,
Which
yeah.
is
Weird.
nice. Yeah.
Weird though.
It's a bit weird.
I like the fact they're grown-ups.
Yeah.
Instead of being kids, they're grown-ups with jobs and apartments instead of being kids at high school.
Yeah,
I quite like that. That was quite refreshing.
It does kind of work better.
Yeah.
Kills aren't quite as good in this, but the story's better.
Yeah, definitely. No, the kills aren't as good.
No. Overall for the series...
Tony Todd's back though.
Tony Todd is back, yeah.
Being mysterious.
Yeah. Overall, I would say for the series, I remember it more fondly than watching it back this time.
Yes. Yeah. The original the first Final Destination movie is like someone with really good cheekbones, and the rest just hangs off it. But the rest is laying it down.
Yeah, it is a bit like that. Yeah, it's. But number 2 probably has the best kills, but it's probably the worst movie.
It's got some real fucking good.
But it's got some great kills.
I mean, number 1's the best.
Number 1 is the best film by a mile. But I will
probably put 5 as second.
Yeah,
though.
I will still be there when the new one comes out on day fucking 1.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, Bloodlines it's called, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love the fact that at the end they're on the plane.
Yeah, the end of 5 they're on the plane.
Yeah.
Because you're watching it all the way through it, and there's a few bits where you go,
when is this?
that's a fucking old mobile phone.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It never lets on that it's set. It tries to make you think that it's set now.
Yeah, it doesn't ever like linger on something that would give it away.
No.
It's just there, and if you catch it, but it's more of a hindsight thing. That
Yeah.
you go, fuck, that makes sense.
You go, that's why that
I
douchebag
forgot about that.
had a really old
Just
phone.
that ending. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
So they're just all on the plane and then it ends.
Yeah, it's just such a fuck you.
Yeah.
That's really grim.
Yeah.
We've also started watching the urban legend films now, haven't we?
Yes. So far,
Solid.
we've only got through the first one, haven't we?
Yeah.
To the end.
Yeah. It's the first urban legend is a good movie.
Classic of the genre.
It is. It's fun. I like the fact that you've got a leading character, a leading kind of like scream queen in Elisa Witt, who is actually quite unlikable.
She's such a dick.
Like, she's a dick. Like, you kind of go, I'm rooting for Rebecca Gayheart in this.
Yeah.
But also you've got the wonder of Rebecca Gayheart. When she goes crazy, she goes crazy.
She does it really well, though.
She
to
does
be
it
fair.
so well.
Like, I know she's problematic, but she's
Because of all the murdering.
I mean, it was an accident. The vehicular manslaughter.
And the
murdering.
naked hot tubbing.
What's that?
What?
What?
She got video, didn't she, doing a naked hot tubbing with Miss America and a guy from... What's that fucking menopausal doctor show? Grey's Anatomy, I think, yeah.
Wasn't she married to Eric Dane from Grey's Anatomy?
They were, yeah.
Oh yeah, they were they?
Yeah.
But were they all consenting adults?
Oh yeah, it's fine,
So
yeah.
then who gives a fuck?
No one gives a fuck, but I'm just saying, people judge.
That's just silly.
Yeah.
She can naked hot tub to her heart's content. Maybe just not vehicular manslaughter or anyone else.
Well, I don't think things go hand in hand.
Girl's got magnificent hair.
She's got magnificent hair and great eyes and goes crazy
Yeah.
like a motherfucker.
She's real fucking good in this.
Yeah.
Oh, and little baby Jared Leto.
Yep.
And little baby Tara Reid.
Yep. Just really, but just you shouldn't have worn those boots, babe.
She shouldn't have worn those.
Nope.
boots.
What you watched on your own, Bex, then we'll circle back around.
I watched one movie on my own.
Oh, what?
Citizen Kane.
Fair play if you're going to watch one movie on your own.
Really good stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's going to really make my fucking choices of movies that I watched on my own make me look like a piece of shit, innit?
What inspired that, Bex?
I don't know, really.
You love Citizen Kane, don't
I
you?
love Citizen Kane. It's in my top 10 favourites of all time. I mean, I know it's in top 10, everyone's top 10 best movies of all time, but it's in my top 10 favourite movies of all time. But then sometimes I'll get a little bit away from watching it and go, oh, it's probably really boring though, isn't it? And then I watch it and I'm like, no, it's actually really fucking not.
It
doesn't
not.
feel like an old movie. But then there's a number of movies like that. Like, there's a load of Jimmy Stewart movies that I really like that they just don't feel of their time. They feel more contemporary than that.
Citizen Kane, I think people think that it's just it's a big old bowl of vegetables, and it's not.
It's really not. No. It's just really fucking good, and yeah, and just the futility of gathering wealth.
Mm.
And he starts off as such a principled man, and just becomes less so as he gets older, which I think is a trap that a lot of people fall into. To be fair, you drop your principles as you
need to drop it.
gain more and want
you
to
make
protect
excuses
it.
for no longer having them.
Yeah, true. But yeah, it's so fucking good. I finished it about 5 minutes before you got home.
Fair.
Because I was watching it at work the other day and I was like, this film deserves a better screen than my phone.
Yep.
Sorry, no, I'm going to have to watch it at home.
Fair.
Yeah, it's so layered and rich as well. Like it
Very
feels,
rich movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
But like I say, it's not boring. It's not a slog.
Oh God, no.
It's
No.
it's a fucking, yeah.
And the bit where he's I don't know how long it is since you've seen it. It's quite a little bit, but there's a bit where he's in the living room at Xanadu with his wife at the time, and she's sat under this massive fucking fireplace, which is like man height and like super big, and she's sat there doing a jigsaw, and he's sat in a chair in the room, and they're shouting to each other because the room is so big, and it's just like she's like ah, and yeah, it's just like
it's played for being silly, isn't it?
they're not being silly.
No.
I think it's just showing the stupidity.
Yeah,
of
that's what I
these
mean. It's they're not playing it as being stupid, but Wells is very much going, this is silly.
Yeah.
Look at this.
And like, obviously he goes from being a very young man to a very old man in the movie. And do you know what? The fucking makeup that they use to do that is so much better than the fucking bullshit CG they use now.
Yeah. It's like, makeup artists must be going, like, when they're doing, we're going to de-age people, we're going to age up people, or digit and like that. Makeup artists must be there going, we can do that for, like, literally a 200th of the cost.
Yeah.
And quicker and better.
Yeah. It's just an absolute masterclass of a movie. Which we all know, like, and I know I'm preaching to the choir, but, like...
But occasionally we have to remind the audience that we do watch, like...
Not you.
Like...
You don't.
That we do watch...
No, you don't, though.
Like, cinema and, like, more highbrow cinema.
What have you watched, Mark?
I rewatched The Duff.
Okay.
Which one's this again?
It's the one with Maya Whitman, Skinjob Prime, Robbie Amell, the non-problematic Amell brother, and Kenny Young's in there, Alison Janney's there, and playing the super hot, super bitch prom queen is, guess who? It's Bella Thorne. If there was ever better casting in the history of cinema, then I doubt it.
She's just a cunt, though, isn't she?
It's the thing is, for The Duff, it's actually quite a fun, sweet movie. That is in there. It's one of those movies that I think it's so much better than it has any reason to be, and the majority of that is because I actually think Robbie Amell, who is the guy from Upload, isn't he? Yeah, that I know you've watched that, haven't you, Ian?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's also in the Babysitter. The first one.
Yeah, he's the hot guy.
Yeah, he's the guy who randomly just starts doing the Jason Voorhees soundtracking.
In the
when
the
he's
second
chasing...
one?
Yeah, no, in the first one.
No, in the second one.
No, he does that in the first one. When he's chasing the kid. Because the kid jumps in a tree house.
Oh,
And he starts
right,
doing
okay,
the... And he just starts doing that, and that's just he just decided to start doing it because he thought it would be funny, and McGee thought it was hilarious and left it in.
He's fucking great in Resident Evil as well.
He's good in Resident Evil, yeah. But it's him and Maya Whitman bouncing off each other that works really well.
My issue there, though, right? She's neither ugly nor fat.
Yeah, but that's explained.
Okay.
But, like when he basically says that when he announces to her at this party thing that she's like her two hot friends Duff, she's like, "What do you mean?" And he goes, he explains it, and she gets really offended. He's like, "Why are you getting offended? It doesn't mean you have to be ugly or fat. It just means your friends are hotter than you," which is like a stupid thing to say. But it's just like whenever he says anything stupid to her, she just punches him and walks away. And then whenever there's a moment where things are getting a little bit like serious, like at any point, and she's saying things that he doesn't quite understand, he just lifts his shirt up and just goes, abs. And he just does that, like loads. And it's funny. It works for the sweetness of it. And the other bit is, you believe why he would get with her at the end of the movie. Because it isn't like they grow to kind of like have this friendship or this romance with each other. It straight away you kind of go, look, they get on really well, and it builds very quickly to that. I really enjoyed The Duff. It's a good movie.
I remember it being really.
And the only other thing I've watched, so I watched 2 Netflix originals this week. I'll get to one after this because I know Ian watched the same one. I watched the 2024 movie Incoming, which stars the kid from The Black Phone.
Okay.
There, and it also has Bobby Cannavale in it, and it's like a teen comedy kind of like One Crazy Night movie. That isn't all set on one crazy night, but it's like 4 high school kids who they're just starting like high school, so they're freshmen in high school, and because one of the kids called Kush, his brother is like the most popular kid in school. He's throwing like this party to start off the new year. They end up getting invited to this party. And so it's these 4 kind of like not quite nerdy, but they're not in any way cool kids are going to end up at this really fucking cool party, and that's the way it's going to go. Except it turns out that they don't all get in, that just one of them can go in, and the other 2 basically just go, well, fuck this then, didn't really want to go anywhere, which they have pointed out that they didn't actually want to go anywhere. And then they end up having like this side adventure at the side of it. I'm going to go all spoilers all the time on this because it's hard to not. So they end up having this side adventure where they just go back to one of their houses, but one of them, they've got a stepdad who is a douchebag. And he's basically like, he's bragging to the kid that I'm taking your mum out for a birthday, and then we're going to go and stay at the Four Seasons Hotel, and I'm going to bang the shit out of her. That's the kind of level of douchebag he is.
Yeah.
So they steal his Tesla, and they end up accidentally, because they sort of swing by the party just to kind of like sit outside to see what it's like. And they end up accidentally, the hottest girl in school, who is hammered, thinks that they're her Uber. And then they have this like side adventure with this girl where they've got to take her to Taco Bell. And then this movie kind of goes for it with gross out. So the thing is, this is going to sound like it's really fucking just, that's too far. And it kind of is, but it deals with it in kind of a fun, like, way that it's not as gross as it sounds. So, they've taken her to Taco Bell. She's then fallen asleep in the back of the car, but they work out where she lives and they're trying to take her back to where she lives by just getting her address off her driving license, which is in her bag, which they go, God, why didn't we think of this like straight away before we took her to Taco Bell, because she insisted that she lives at Taco Bell. And then they're driving along and one of them turns around to the other and goes, dude, like, crack a window if you're going to do that. And they're like, nah, that ain't me. And then they realise that it's her. So you think, what would you think? That this girl has clearly farted in her sleep? That's a little bit, it's a little bit gross. Nope. The girl is fully, like, absolutely
Shit
just
herself.
shit herself in her sleep.
All right, okay. Nice.
And then, like, they're going, well, we need to dump her somewhere. Like, we can't do that. She's a vulnerable woman. We can't just leave her there. And one of the other ones is going, she's covered in shit. This is a force field to that vulnerability. And then they decide, no, we've got to do something about this. And we can't leave this poor girl, there. Imagine the embarrassment. And they just act really nice about it and get, like, the car cleaned up and get her cleaned up and changed. And so she's safe and she's all right. And it's this, like, really weird little side quest that goes on. Whilst at the party, the douchebag kid, whose like brother is running the party, he comes up with this really like terrible idea to orchestrate via all of the CCTV they have in the house, orchestrate like a meet cute with a girl, and that's how he's going to end up scoring at this party and getting his brother's like respect. Because there's a running joke that this kid keeps on calling himself the Cush, which is what his brother's called. And anytime anyone refers to him as the Cush, his brother just appears out of nowhere and punches him. And so, but by the end of it, it happens. And so, like, one of the other kids just goes, where does he keep coming from? And it's just, he arranges meet cute. And he's about to work with this girl, and then he slips over and breaks his collarbone and has to admit that he's orchestrated the whole thing. And the girl is like, you are sick. And he's like, I know I'm sick. I know I'm a douchebag. I know I need help. But seriously, I'm in so much pain at the moment. It's a fun movie. Bobby Cannavale plays their teacher, who accidentally, he's like a great teacher, and accidentally ends up at the party, and then keeps on like doing like shots with them, but will only do a shot with them if he can make it a science lesson, and then he does a ball with them, and will only do it if he can turn it into a science lesson. But he gradually gets more and more fucked up as it goes along, but he still keeps doing these science lessons. I had a great time with this movie. It's fun. It's silly. This movie will be watched by people that are my age and will go, it's fucking stupid. It's too crass. It's over the top. It's like, no guys, this isn't made for you. This is made for kids who are that age. It is made for 14 to 15-year-olds to maybe 17-year-olds who are going to watch it on Netflix and go, this is great. This is great. That party looks awesome. And it's fun. It has characters that are gay in it, but doesn't focus on it. It's not a thing. None of the characters make a thing about it.
Right.
It just exists. They're allowed to exist. There is nudity in it, but the only actual full-blown sex you see is two guys going at it. And it really fucking goes at it as well.
Yeah.
I had a great time with this. It's fun. The characters feel real. They react to things in a, oh shit, way. And they look like kids. I had a good time with Incoming. It's a fun movie. It's good. My God, the language in it is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ian, moving on from a good time that I had with a Netflix movie, The Union. What did you think?
I thought it was alright. It was pretty throwaway. Mark Wahlberg and Halle Berry have no chemistry together whatsoever. But I think I maybe enjoyed it more before a character comes back, and then it it like the what's actually happening in the plot kind of kicks in. I was enjoying it more before that, but I think the idea of like, you know, it's a network of blue collar people who are the ones that really run the country, you know, because they're the workers that coming together is like an interesting enough idea. I thought they had some good fish out of water stuff in terms of both Wahlberg's situation and the fact they're in London. You know, it's not often in like a Netflix film you got stuff about. There was like something about red sauce at one time, and it's
they go to like, what is it? And he goes, "Can I get three white coffees, 3 bacon sandwiches?" She went, "We're not brown with that." And he just goes, "Red." And Wahlberg turns around to J.K. Simmons and goes, "What's brown sauce got?" I have no idea.
yeah. No. I mean that's good. That's good. And I'll be honest, like a person who turned out not to be a villain took me by surprise.
Is that Osbo's all time?
J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
And you know, but they know that they are leading you up the garden path with that, because there's enough in it where it's like, yeah, that could easily be J.K. Simmons, and then the film just as soon as, all spoilers all the time, Mike Coulter comes back into it, then it's like, oh, okay, fine, he's the wrong one then. Because why? It doesn't. His story doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I had a decent enough time with it. What were your thoughts?
Mark Wahlberg seems like he's having a blast. Mark Wahlberg seems like he's having a great time in this movie. And I know people have problems with Mark Wahlberg, but I do enjoy him as a screen presence. I have to admit that. I enjoy Halle Berry when she's not in films. Like, she physically is very capable of doing all of this stuff, but when she's acting tough in a movie, it's just it's so bad. It's so bad. Like, when she's doing badass stuff, fine. But then when she has to act tough, it's just like, you almost look at it going, I don't believe you. It's weird. It's so off-putting for it. There is a wonderful character in the middle of this movie that seems to be within this movie, but is almost like she thoroughly is in on, right, I'm gonna just act like I don't give a shit about anything, including this movie, to the fact that the last thing she does is get up and walks off and then just claps her hands and everyone follows her. And it's the Juliet character. She's fucking brilliant. The fact that she goes in when they've taken her at the apartment and she just opens the fridge and gets the bottle of wine and starts pouring herself a glass in the background as all that drama's going along is just wonderful.
Yeah. No, I mean that's it. There's enough there to keep you entertained. Like I said, I think it tails off a bit towards the end, but. Yeah.
Lorraine Brocco playing his mum is great. And every time he rings her, she knows what's going on beforehand.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I had a good time with it. The thing is, if there is a sequel, I'll happily watch the sequel, and it very much sets itself up for a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's Netflix, you probably will get a sequel. Jackie Earle Haley just being that is one thing. Like they don't know his name, so they just call him Foreman. There's a point where they say to him, "Why do they call you Foreman?" I just felt like he was almost about to go because just none of them have asked my name. But yeah, it's very slight, but it passed the time of watching it over a lunchtime.
Yeah.
Which is what I did. And
it did make me laugh as well that the teacher that Mark Wahlberg's banging at the start of it, like she's supposed to be his like 8th grade English teacher. The actress is only 15 years older than Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, but then again, if you think about it, if he'd have been, let's say he'd been 15, she'd have been 30. So it would work.
It just, yeah, I suppose it just it just made me laugh that it's like she's supposed to be like obviously older than him, and to be honest, like she wasn't.
No.
I don't know.
The thing about it is, Dana Delaney does not look like she's nearly 70.
No, she doesn't at all. It felt to me like when this was written, the Wahlberg character probably would have been cast younger.
Yeah.
Like it's weird that it's like a wet behind the ears new recruit, but it's Mark Wahlberg who is in his early 50s.
Yeah. Yeah. But then they do try and say that they point out that the film that he's 47. It's like, he doesn't look 47.
But yeah, no, fun if slight, yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree on that, yeah. What else have you been watching, Ian?
Yeah, I got a few other things. So, it's been popping up on my Netflix algorithm. I was like, right, fuck it, yes, fine, I'll watch it. Audi versus Lancia Race for Glory, which is basically like Euro Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah, that's the one with what's his name? Riccardo Scamacchio, isn't it?
Yeah. And
he of
I
wonderful
believe he
face.
also directed and co-wrote this.
Did he? Nice.
I hope so, or at least somebody with a very similar name.
No,
if it's
he
not
did.
him.
He didn't direct it, but he did co-write it and produce it.
Oh, okay, he co-wrote and produced it. Okay, so this is, I mean, there's a title card at the end that is basically like, yeah, this was based on like real life, but basically everything was made up. It's like this really weird title card that kind of feels like, were they in it like some sort of potential legal trouble and they had to do this or something? But it's basically about the domination of Audi in the rally world in like the 80s, and Lancia are this like smaller manufacturer who managed to win the World Rally Championship. Daniel Bruhl's also in it for maybe 5 minutes as like the head of the Audi team, but he's probably in like 3 scenes.
He's like second building as well, isn't he?
Yeah. And it's real. Look, fine, pay me $500,000 and you've got me for 3 days or something like that kind of vibe to it. To be honest, I mean, I thought this was pretty poor. I don't necessarily feel like I learned anything, and it feels like it's going for the beats of the underdog sports movie, and then doesn't add any of the detail, because it's like, oh, you know how one of these goes, don't you? Like, it's just, right, they're going to be plucky, and they're going to be shit, but then they're going to be good. We're not going to tell you how they're good, they're just good all of a sudden. And then there's going to be a tragedy. And then they're going to come back, and we're not going to tell you how they're going to come back. It's just going to happen. It felt really shonkily put together, to be honest. But yeah, so I don't know, but it's got a good sense of time to it. It's quite visually compelling in moments, so that kind of like kept the attention going. But yeah, it's a pretty poor film overall. I also watched, I started watching Madame Web on Dutch Netflix, and then I was like, why am I watching Madame Web? So I turned it off, and I put on director of Final Destination and I believe Final Destination 3, James Wong's The One, the Jet Li versus himself film from 2001.
The DVD rental classic.
Yes, absolutely. you know, one of the most early 2000s films ever made, up there with like Triple X.
Yes.
I mean, the soundtrack is incredible. You got that Down with the Sickness. I said this in the boy chat, but the wah bit that happens at such an incredible point in this film that I actually spat my beer out when I was watching. It was really funny. But it's like so you've got Down with the Sickness. Like the end of it is Jet Li in a place. He's been sent to a Stygian prisoner colony. He gets there, the bad guy one, and he's just like, I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, I am no one's bitch. I will make you all my bitch. And then just starts fighting everybody as Papa Roach's last resort plays. And then the film ends. It's bloody brilliant. But sorry, just the wah bit's got me again though. It's great. It's like this rat explodes or something, and then he breaks out of prison. But I mean, so, you know, it's Jet Li fighting himself with help from Delroy Lindo and Jason Statham. I mean, what's there not to love? Carla Gugino's his wife in it. Cool.
Yep. The wild thing is, this was originally... Do you know who was originally supposed to play the Jet Li character in this movie?
Go on.
And, like, up until very close to them filming it, it was supposed to be, like, the first, like, proper vehicle for The Rock to get into acting.
Oh, God. I'm glad it was Jet Li.
Oh, yeah, it's so much better with Jet Li.
Yeah, and, you know... Corey Yuen does the action choreography, and it's. I mean, it does feel kind of like there's a cut every like 2 seconds, so you can't really actually see any of it. But there's some cool shit where it goes into slow motion every now and then, and I think actually, to be fair, Jet Li plays the two, like the evil one and the good one, actually pretty well. They are two very different performances. And it's one of it, you know, he'd been making Hollywood films for a while, and I think he's pretty good in this. So yeah, the one, just very, very entertaining bollocks.
Yeah.
And then finally for me this week, so. We finished the podcast last week. I went downstairs and the girls were watching some trailers. Like, Lots is getting more into watching films now. We've had to let her come to it, but she's like up for sticking a movie on these days, which is great. And they were hovering over Paul Feig's The School of Good and Evil. So we watched that. Which, you know, I talked about, we talked about Chatpot last week, and you talked about how I hadn't seen this one, and so, yeah, I was like, yeah, all right, then I'll watch it. This thing is 2.5 hours long.
It's quite long, isn't it? Yeah.
2.5 hours. And it really is nakedly just Netflix saying to Paul Feig, can you do us Harry Potter, please? So... Basically, you've got these two girls, they're friends. One of them's like very princessy, the other people in the town call a witch. And one of them wants to go to the school, school for good and evil, and there's a good section and an evil section. They're both whisked away, and then they are... The one who... thinks she's good is put in the evil section, and then t'other way round, and then wouldn't you know it, that actually is right, and the one who people think is a witch is actually good, and the one who thinks she's good is actually she's got some darkness in her, Kerry Washington plays the headmistress of the School for Good. Charlize Theron plays the headmistress of the School for Evil. And
course.
essentially there's a Voldemort-y kind of character all up in there who's kind of like making things happen behind the scenes. I mean, for Lottie, really enjoyed it, and I think kids may well, but it hasn't got any of the attention to detail that like the production design of the Harry Potter films does. I mean, the score is basically just a bunch of songs from today, but where it's like Billie Eilish is on the soundtrack, and Britney, like actually they do Toxic by Britney Spears in one bit, but it's in this fantasy setting. It's like, why can't we just have some score? Why can't we just have some fucking old school score? Why are we doing this instead? I don't really know what Paul Feig thought he was doing with this, to be honest. It's his worst film. And yeah, really, I mean, it's just like, if you've got kids, then yeah, sure, go with it. But otherwise, I don't know what attracted him to this project, unless he's got kids and he wanted to make something that they could watch or something. But yeah, what happens in it, it's just all really obvious all the way through. And then the ending, actually, it's kind of like almost like the moral of the ending, I thought was really badly done as well. So, and yeah, it just like, it ends with a sequel set up. This came out in 2022 and there's been no word. So, yeah, real fucking misfire, this one, actually. It's not like the worst movie of 2022 or anything like that, but again, between this and Jackpot, which I liked Jackpot, but given how much I've liked some of Feig's other stuff, it's kind of weird. And I think maybe his career has suffered just how comedy on the big screen isn't as much of a thing anymore. Like comedy basically is like, it just goes to streaming these days, and it kind of feels like he's been forced to like shake things up a bit, and it's I don't know. School of Good and Evil, not great. Jackpot, okay. Really hope Simple Favor 2 brings him back properly.
Yeah.
So
because he is a good dude.
He is. That's the thing. The guy genuinely seems like a sweetheart, and I really Spy rules.
The Heat's a great movie.
The Heat's brilliant. A Simple Favor's great as well. You know. So yeah, I hope he gets back to winning ways soon. But this ain't it. And that's me. So let's move on to Twitter questions. What do we have?
I'll just go grab them. Where are they? They're on Twitter, aren't they? Let's have a look. So, I thought we had two. 2 seconds. Sure, we had two. No, we just got the one. Thought we had two. Dylan Black Lanterns.
Nice.
What film would you like to see a Muppet version of? Same film, just all Muppets aside from one actor.
Aside from one actor, The Thing. Everybody's a Muppet except for Wilford Brimley.
Fuck, that's good. That's fucking good. However, now I can't get bring me the moustache of Wilford Brimley out of my head again. Which isn't even from a film, it's technically from a bloopers of a film.
Blade Runner, everyone's a Muppet except for Rachel, because if Rachel also was, that'd be Miss Piggy and she can just get in the fucking bin.
Would Rachel have been Miss Piggy?
It's the female Muppet.
Blade Runner, good choice there.
And the Deckard character is, you know, the guy out of Happy Time Murders.
Yeah.
The detective out that with the silly streams, jizz.
Oh god.
Oh no, but she'd make a good.
What about
the Muppet out of that?
who would?
The Muppet out of Happy Time Murders.
I really like Happy Time Murders.
It's good.
It's a good film.
If you haven't rewatched it, rewatch it. It's good fun.
What about Fitzcarraldo, but everybody's a Muppet except for Klaus Kinski?
I mean, Klaus Kinski thinks that himself, I think. I mean, the thing is, I'm inspired by the fact that I've got a poster of it on my wall here, but Taxi Driver. Everyone's a Muppet, but Travis Bickle.
Oh no, because Travis Bickle Muppet, it seems a bit too, like, obvious to make it the main character. Like, everyone's a Muppet except for, like, Sybil Shepherd.
No.
Or Harvey Keitel.
yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Everyone's a Muppet, but Harvey Keitel character. That'd be great.
Yeah. I mean, any movie, I think, would just be great. Big Trouble in Little China. Everyone's a Muppet except for Gracie Law.
That works.
Yeah, it would.
For some reason, that really works.
100%. They all work.
What, Kim Cattrall and a bunch of Muppets?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
It would.
Yeah, that was good.
Be a challenging wank, but I'd go for it.
A low pan fucking Muppet. I'd be down.
Yeah. That was the question we got. I did put the ask out quite late on because I was working.
You absolute
that's
fucking
I'm a
waste of space.
piece of shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will actually also start putting out the shout out question on Instagram for those people who have quite rightly vacated the Twitter space.
We need to migrate over there.
Yeah. So I'll take heed.
Nice. Okay, so
Ooh, yeah,
next week, I don't know what's out. Oh no, I do.
Afraid?
It's that. Yes. Yeah, quite forward to this.
Doesn't seem to be out till Saturday randomly. At Cineworld anyway.
It's
They're
definitely out on Friday.
Yeah, they've probably just not put the up for Saturday yet, for Friday yet.
I tell you what, Saturday they might have listings out early because it's National Cinema Day. So it's like basically all the tickets are cheap, and I know Odeon are doing like free upgrades and shit like that as well. So yeah, they probably just got it out early in anticipation of that. But yeah, I'm quite looking forward to Afraid. Chris White's writing and directing it. Weirdly, so he's a relatively frequent guest on Blank Check, and weirdly, there's an element of some stupid banter that he has with the producer of the show that might actually form a part of the story of Afraid, which which is really weird. I'm not going to say any more because I don't actually want to spoil anything if it does come off. If it does, I'll explain more.
Yes.
But there is a chance that the producer of Blank Check should almost have a story by credit on this film. And it's odd. But yeah, Afraid, looking forward to it.
Nice.
And I'm hosting. So, I need to get up for my flight home in 8 hours. So, I am going to say goodnight and I'm going to go to bed. So, good night, Becky.
Good night, Ian.
Good night, Mark.
Good night, Ian.
Sleep tight.
Jason Reitman, I hope the bed bugs bite.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye all.